Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Hearts of Iron for the United States. In the last episode, we made some adjustments, or at least I ended up restarting, off screen, to make some adjustments to the focuses that we were taking so that we could keep some options open. And so I've been working on this. And we got our initial, our existing armies kind of set up. We're training. We gathered up all of the ships in the fleet into one giant pile. And yeah, just kind of working on some tech and working through the focuses of the early part of the game. So that's what we're going to continue to work on here. And one thing I did do off screen is I went through here and I broke the ships up a little bit into what is eventually going to be an Atlantic and a Pacific force. I have a Battle Group 1, which has the Lexington, the Ranger, and the Saratoga. Though the Ranger can be upgraded to a Yorktown. You know what? You might as well go ahead and upgrade that ship. Let's do it. We're going to refit it. And we're going to need to assign some dockyards to that. I did set up another carrier to be constructed, USS Wasp. There we go. Move all the dockyards there. And I have directed that to go into Battle Group 2, because Battle Group 2 here does not have any carriers. I have the New York class battleships, a bunch of Pensacola class cruisers, and we have mostly Clemson class destroyers. Those aren't great. We're probably going to see about trying to replace those or upgrade them. These are all Farragut class destroyers. We had the New Orleans class cruisers in the main battle group here, with the Colorado class battleships. And then, I have another battle group, which is going to be, right now, this is the 4 of the Pennsylvania class battleships and whatever else I could come together. I have some patrol groups, which are going to have some Omaha class light cruisers and a bunch of Clemson class destroyers. In both of these, Omaha class and Clemson class. And I have another, I'm calling home defense, which is going to be some, more light cruisers and Clemson class destroyers. And then we have lots of just reserve. Well, these are all submarines. I haven't broken up the submarines yet. And then these are just, remainder destroyers we might be using there. Okay. So that's kind of how we have everything set up there. Now, I was looking at this, and we can actually do naval exercises. This is new. So let's go ahead and get both our battle groups doing naval exercises. Actually, they're gonna need some admirals. Ernest King and Halsey, I guess. I'll go with those guys. Alright, so yeah, you're in the process of refitting. Actually, if I unpause it, yeah, that's going to be worked on. And that should start generating us some naval experience. Yes, it is. And once we have some naval experience, we can start coming up with some new ship designs. So that should be interesting, using the new ship designer system. which I've been looking at that, and I'm hoping that they actually expand that across almost the entire system of how to do variants. Tanks, I think, would be pretty interesting. Alright, House Committee supports presidential policy. The latest round of hearings in the House Committee on Ways and Means has resulted in a report crediting the president's policies with major improvements. That's with major improvements in all available metrics of the economy. While stopping short of outright praise, the report nevertheless comes as a blow to those that were criticizing the president and demanding reforms. A number of representatives have already publicly declared that although they still harbor doubts about the president's agenda, they will now vote in support. So, up to 50 representatives support the government. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to be doing any of that. I really want to get away from the naval treaties. Though we need more than 20% world tension in order for that to happen. But that's gonna happen as Germany starts doing its thing. Though they do not remilitarize the Rhineland. They're doing Reichs Autobahn. They have not. I do not believe that they have remilitarized the Rhineland. No, it's still a demilitarized zone. Alright, games of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. German athletes saw the most success, winning 33 gold medals, while the Americans came in second with 24. 4 of these were won by Jesse Owens, the single most successful athlete of the Games. Alright. Alright, how are we coming along here with our exercises here? Okay, so running those naval exercises does cost fuel, I believe. But we're generating so much that it isn't impacting us too badly. Alright, so it looks like we're almost done here. I'd like to get the 5 army experience, if we can. Because that'll allow me to at least make a basic change to one of our templates. I think. Actually, I think we need 10 experience to change one of our support companies. Alright, so you guys are done. Let's go ahead and have you stop. That'll get you to stop costing us material. Alright, we're gonna let that run for a bit. 22 Navy experience. Let's take a look at the Navy. See, we are under naval repair queue. Nothing there. What as far as technology? Actually, let me just take a look at this a little bit. See, we're under the London Naval Treaty, so we can't really build any big ships. Oh, I keep pressing that. Stop. So we can't build these because they're too expensive. But let's just see, what could I do to build a heavy ship that fits within the treaty? Let's see, these are 16-inch guns, these are 14-inch guns. We'd probably need to go with the 14-inch guns. Yeah, 3 turrets, 6 guns. It already is going to cost us more than we... Oh, Warhawk is done. Mechanical computing is done. So if I wanted to... Yeah, this is... We just can't build any heavy ships. So we're going to need to get away from those treaties. Alright. We're going to want to go ahead and get the F3F. Basic fire control system. Industry. Concentrated industry. Let's get that going. Alright, so what we're going to want to get... I also adjusted this, added the TBD Devastator, so that we get some naval, some carrier naval bombers. We're going to want to start getting some P-40s going. Catalina naval bombers. Let's see. B-18 Bowler, interwar. Let's get some planes going. War Plans Division. Now, I still haven't made a final decision on what direction we're going, as far as ideology and everything. My plan is to see what happens in the November election. Intervention in the Americas. War Plan Green. Not sure we're going to go with any of those yet. Air support or strategic bombing. You get some air experience. Increases maximum command power. I tend to want to go this way, so we're going to go with air support. Let's go with that. Yugoslavia. Oh, we've actually already seen this event, but it didn't happen when I restarted, but now it did. Okay, so how is the Spanish Civil War? It looks like Nationalist Spain is probably winning. We can send an attaché. Opposition suffers defeat in the Senate. A motion to censure President Franklin Roosevelt has been defeated in the Senate. While even its most ardent supporters had little hope that it would pass, the amount of votes against it came as a shock even to the most pessimistic of observers. It appears that the president enjoys a far greater level of support in the Senate than most believed, which should help in advancing his legislative agenda. So 10 senators go flip to support. And we can burn off political power to gain more support. But I don't necessarily want to. I'm just going to kind of let things happen naturally. I don't want to see what happens when we hit the election. And that's going to kind of guide my hand in where we're going to go. Whether we're going to head toward, well, potentially fascism, or if we're going to go down the potentially communist or... I'm not so sure about democratic. I mean, democratic makes the most historical sense, but I don't know if it would make for the most interesting game. Alright, we got any more technology gonna get done? We got carrier primacy gonna be done in 40 days. Let's just crank the speed up. There's not a lot going on right now. We are training divisions. Our representative speaks passionately in support of the government. Asked about her stance on a number of policy issues at a fundraising dinner, a representative spoke out in support of President Franklin Roosevelt. She further claimed that many of her fellow representatives had similar views, but were merely held back by idiotic short-sightedness, thinking no further than the next election instead of doing what was right for the American people. Her comments have been widely reported by the press and put several of her colleagues in hot water as they had to explain where they stood on these issues. We got 25 representatives will switch to support. Now, how is... We're almost going to get another couple of divisions. Actually... So these are the National Guards. These guys are going into... The opponent should have at least one order within theater to be assigned to any group. Oh, actually, we can probably have you guys stop exercising. There we go. Oh, they need to actually be assigned to something in order for us to be able to send troops there. Alright, the day of the presidential election has arrived. Incumbent Franklin Roosevelt has already implemented several of the programs referred collectively to as the New Deal, intended to take the U.S. out of the Great Depression. While many of the efforts have been popular, his plans to further extend the role and power of the government have been met with criticism from his opponent, Republican Alf Landon. Coming from the oil industry, Landon wants to see greater economic freedom, while Roosevelt and the Democratic Party want to expand Social Security and ensure economic stability. The election may be a close call or a major victory for the Democrats. Okay, so I guess we get to choose? Okay. Let's see. I didn't realize that we were going to get a chance to actually choose this. The Democrats, 4 more years. We get stability plus 10%. Infrastructure construction speed plus 20%. Or Democratic Party would now be called the Republican Party. The momentum gained from the presidential election is likely to carry over to congressional elections. Plus 120 political power. Gain Standard Oil California, which grants industrial research speed. Synthetic resources research speed. Refining concern, Alf Landon becomes leader. Stone's constitutionalist ideology, drift defense, plus 50%. Let me think about this for a minute. Alright, I think I've made my decision. And we're going to go communist. So we're going to go Democrats 4 more years. The people have spoken. And what the goal is then going to be is to spread, eventually, to spread communism across our hemisphere. To destroy the fascists, obviously. To destroy the old empires. So the British Empire, the French Empire, the Dutch Empire. Destroy the new Japanese Empire. And I think eventually we'll even want to probably subjugate Stalin. So yeah, I think that's the route we're going to go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it running. And so what we'll do after we finish air support here is we'll then head over here. We'll continue the New Deal. Then we'll head to suspend the persecution, which gets us the communist Earl Browder as the communist revolutionary and increases our communism support. And eventually we'll head to desegregate the armed forces. And then once we're able to get 35% support for Communist Party, we will go democratic socialism. The Communist Party becomes a ruling party. And we will head for here. Liberty for the Philippines. And then we'll go for Pacific decolonization. We'll get the puppet war goal against the Dutch East Indies. Conquer war goal against Australia. So yeah. We're going to head down that route. It was kind of a hard decision whether we were going to go fascist or communist. I don't think we're going to stick with democratic. I just don't. Because particularly I do want to kind of explore some of these other options here. Alright, Grumman F3F is done. Care Primacy is done. Let's go ahead and switch that out. We are going to want to get construction. Actually, Care Task Forces. Let's keep working on that. And let's start working on... we are working on that. Air Doctrines. We're going to go for battlefield support. Alright, with the 87 naval experience... Alright, we're continue the New Deal. This is going to get us some political power. Now, I am going to need to kind of save that so that we can select Browder here. Once we get to that point. Alright, how is construction going? Okay, we're coming along with the military factories. How goes our stockpiles? We're still 500 days away from having all of our infantry equipment. What are we short on? We are short on support equipment. We're 500 days away from having support equipment done. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be a bit before we're going to have new troops. That's fine. That is fine. We're in 1937 now. Coal liquidization? Going for synthetic refineries. Interesting. I don't know enough about them to figure out exactly what all focuses they've taken. It does look like that nationalist Spain is winning the Civil War. Senator votes for government proposal. The senator has surprisingly switched sides to vote for a government proposal. Okay, so we gained 5 senators' support. Oh, without the Germans doing their thing, it's going to be hard to get the world tension we need. Oh well, we'll just keep on heading forward. Yeah, manpower is an issue. Well, because we're in undisturbed isolation, we need to get mobilized. We need to change our conscription rules. So this is going to take a bit to get us going. I should probably send the Pacific Fleet. Let's gotta have you stop doing that. Can we rebase you to Hawaii? Actually, I think I need to send the individual fleets out there. And we'll put the reserve ships in San Francisco. Representative criticizes president. Okay, during a recent debate on tax reform. Okay, we lost 20 representatives. I'm not that worried about it. Okay, so it looks like that Ranger's been upgraded. Good. How much of this can we stockpile? 500? Yeah, because once we can get away from the naval treaties, then we're going to need to get some new ship designs out there. Alright, we're going to be getting our Concentrated Industry 1 here in 5 days. Alright, there we are. Should increase our industrial output. We can take construction. Yeah, the other thing we're also going to want to go for are those research slots. We're going to go ahead and suspend the persecution. Do that next. Yeah, we can modify the government, but we're not going to just yet. Alright, formation flying. Die bombing. Go for it. It's got 100% reduced time on it. Or increased research speed. So basically doubled speed. We're going to get delay done here. I think once delay is done, we're going to go for a tank model. Probably go for the Stuart. Alright, and then we're going to go for the M2 Light. No, Stuart's over here. M2 Light. Alright, yep, Nationalist Spain won the Civil War. Senator speaks out against government policy. 4 senators switch. We still have lots of support. Let's see, I could actually go for one of these smaller ones. Research grants. Research people is 5%, but then we go in opposition. Amend the budget. Special maneuvers. That basically just gets us a bunch of support. Nation building in the Philippines. No, I don't think we're going to take anything there. Looks like we do have a new division. There we go. Finally completed training. Some of these infantry divisions are starting to work. Representative speaks passionately in support of government. Alright, so we gain some representatives. Suspend the persecution is done. And so we can't really advance much further than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to head for WPA for a bunch more political power, and that'll get us within striking distance of an additional research slot. So we'll go for that. Let's go ahead and get our communist revolutionary in position, and we should start building up communist support. Alright, finally, they've remilitarized the Rhineland. That got us up to 30% war score. Japan abandons naval treaty. Hindenburg disaster, okay. Hirohito Ohtani announced that Japan would no longer consider herself bound by the naval treaties she had signed. The world situation, he said, had made the choice inevitable. Japan has apparently received reliable reports that several neighboring countries have begun aggressive naval expansion programs that threaten legitimate Japanese interests in the area. Japanese Admiralty They refused to comment on rumors that several ships currently under construction were already planned without treaty restrictions in mind. We should review our own participation in the treaty. Italy abandons the treaty. Okay, so as soon as we get enough political power, which should happen here with the WPA, Marco Polo Bridge incident. Alright. Japanese and Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge located just southwest of Beijing. China has accepted full responsibility for the incident, forwarding an apology to Japan, as well as agreeing to extensive territorial concessions. This has surprised many experts, who had predicted that the border tensions would erupt into a full-blown war. Okay, so China backed down. Interesting. Alright, but we are at the end of the episode here, so we're going to go ahead and see how things play out. We'll be finishing WPA, we'll be abandoning the naval treaties, and we're going to start working on some new ship designs. Alright, do it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.